Welcome back to the podcast with Jesus Fuentes or the Jesus Fuentes podcast, whatever you want to call it. There's still not a name yet. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to talk about this with my guest right now, Sarah Fitzpatrick.
Hello, everybody.
So I'm going to be flat out honest. I don't know your your Instagram tag the way it is. Like, I feel like it's Sarah.n.Fitzpatrick.
You got it.
Okay, sweet. I've got it wrong for every single guest that I've had so far. And I feel like, yeah, don't worry. You said all right to me, and I say, yeah, don't worry to myself. Well, I was gonna say it's for some reason, like I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like, do you remember people by their Instagram tags instead of like their actual names?
Not really. I don't know. I find it like I have to meet somebody in person first to like really be able to like recognize them on the street and everything. I feel because there's been a couple awkward run-ins where people are like, "Oh, well, we already know each other. We follow each other on Instagram." And it's like, okay, now that we've actually met each other in person and have like introduced each other, like I'll totally recognize you. But sometimes when you're just like scrolling through Instagram so quick, you won't actually be able to like recognize them out in the real world. So
yeah, I know. I feel like for me, most of it has always been like if for example like that, like I would like follow somebody on Instagram and I'll have like their name and maybe it's just like their, how do you call it, like their nickname. It's not actually their name, and then I feel obligated to, like, when I meet them I call them by that nickname, and it's kind of awkward because they're just like, yeah, that's not my name, that's my Instagram name. You know what I mean? Like that has happened to me. And also for some reason I just remember people by their actual Instagram names, even though I've said it wrong in every single one of my guests. So it just goes to say, it's just whatever. Actually, let's actually go to the topic of this podcast. And the topic for this podcast is something that you were like flat out like wondering, why do you want to have me in the podcast, Jesus? And I was like, well, you may not think of it as a big thing, but see, when I first met you, you had like your following on Instagram, right?
yeah.
And exactly, like you can be humble about it, and that's cool. But like the reason why I'm saying like you can be humble about it is because I don't think it's just whatever following when you start a TikTok account and then you like successfully get the same amount of people that follow you on Instagram to follow you on TikTok like in a matter of like a couple days.
Yeah.
Like that's just mind blowing, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because imagine Joey could do that. And imagine Joey had like those 700,000 followers, almost 800,000 in Instagram. Because he doesn't have that. Like if you look at his Instagram, he has like, what, like almost 200 or something like that?
Yeah, he has a lot.
But it's different platforms, different things that people like. And like, even though everybody on YouTube knows, like I feel like they should know by now that he has an Instagram. Why do they not follow him on Instagram? You know what I mean? And then for you to like have like a new account on TikTok just right at the get-go, and everybody just loves you so much, I guess, in your Instagram, that they're like, oh, TikTok. And if they did not have an account, they made an account, they follow you there, and you have the exact same amount of following in Instagram and TikTok. Like, did it ever occur to you that was a little bit crazy? Like just getting those thousands of followers on TikTok, like really quick?
Yeah. So it's actually funny that you say that because it's kind of, okay, wait 1 second.
Don't worry.
Sophie was playing with her squeaky toy the whole time in the back. So if you hear that squeaky toy, I just took it away so that she's not squeaking anymore.
That's okay.
Okay. So funny that you say that because I think it's actually two different sets of followers almost in a way. and I actually gained more followers on my Instagram through TikTok because I posted one video with two of my girlfriends that went viral really quick. Like all of a sudden, it just got a lot of exposure, and I started getting all these followers off of that one video. So I don't think that it was from people going from my Instagram over to TikTok. I think it was from this one video that blew up and did really well. I got like, I think like 19,000 followers off of this one video. And then I started seeing my count go up on Instagram from that video.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said it was one of your girlfriends. I was going to say, I feel like definitely it was one of your trips. Like the clips that you have from your trips, like they're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
it was actually a really, really simple, easy video that just blew up. It's kind of hilarious. So it was me and my two friends, Ashley and Amber, and we're just like standing in a triangle doing this like jumping dance thing.
In and out
thing. Yeah. And it was, I guess, really popular at the time or something. I don't know. All of a sudden, I got a call from Nathan, and he said, you should probably check your TikTok. And then I looked at my TikTok, and it went from like 50 views to like 150 views. And then I checked back like 20 minutes later, and it would be at 200 views. And it just kept going up, 200,000 views. And it just kept going up and up and up, like every time I refreshed. And then it almost got 1 million, but didn't quite hit that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's how I got all the followers off of that. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Look at you going viral, just like it's nothing. Like, which TikTok was it? Like your first, second, or third? Like, it was definitely one of your first
my first videos. Now, I heard, though, this could be a rumor, I don't know, but I heard that TikTok will like make one of your first videos do really well on purpose. So then you want to keep posting so that you like feel like you have the chance to go viral again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You might not be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna tell you this. I know, I'm not gonna say names, but I know one of my friends, she posted her first video, and it kind of went viral as well. It was like 20,000. Don't worry, it's okay for Sophie to like just be like, "Mama, pay attention to me."
I know, she wants attention. Here, I'm gonna go bring her over to Nathan. Okay. Okay, go on.
That's okay. You know what I feel like? Like I'm FaceTiming a mom, and like you're dealing with your kids, and it's like, yeah, mom life.
Yeah, actually, mom life.
Well, I was gonna say it's my friend, she did her first TikTok, and I'm pretty sure. I actually I'm not pretty sure. I just remember at 20. It could have been at 20,000 views, or 200,000 views.
Yeah.
And it was her first TikTok. So you might be up to something, because I was like, whoa, like the first one and went viral like that. Yeah. And then afterwards it wasn't so viral. But yes, of course. Like I get that idea that like maybe TikTok is doing that. Like, let's give them that so that, like, they stick into the app and they keep on trying it. You know what? I might just start my first TikTok today.
You could, honestly. I bet within your first 5 videos, one of them will blow up and do really well. And then I think after that, like, you just have to keep posting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a numbers game, I feel. Like, the more that you put out there, the more, like, the higher chance you have of something going viral. And then it's just good exposure.
Yeah, we'll see if that actually goes, or if it's just for girls and not guys.
Have you made a TikTok yet, Jesus?
I made the account, and I get my friends to send me memes to it, and I send memes to Joey and J-Mac.
Okay.
That's literally it.
That's good.
And it's actually so bad because I don't search those memes.
Yeah.
JP, he sends me all the memes on TikTok, and then I resend those memes to Joey and J Mac.
That's hilarious.
But
the ones that you sent me.
oh yeah, I've sent you a couple. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of those are JP's.
Really?
Yeah, he's the meme god for sure. But I was gonna say it's okay. So that's a huge turn of events. I was not expecting that. First off, second, I already plugged in your Instagram, Sarah.and.Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to put a box in here or somewhere. I don't know where it's gonna appear. But anyways, so I feel, and I was talking about this with a girl just right before this call, and I asked her like, "Hey, do you want to be part of the podcast?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm down." And she said like, "No," and I said like, "Okay, well, um, when are you gonna be able to film?" And she's like, "Film?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, like my podcast is like, is the audio is also a video." And she's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And she's like, "Well, when I go to Ottawa," and I said like, I feel like, well, she asked me like, "Do you have notes or whatever?" And I said like, "Yeah, like we're gonna be talking about like how you're like into this modeling scene and well, how we met, how you started, what have you done, and how come you get to travel about it." And then she said like, "Well, it's not like I have many followers or anything." And I told her, "Well, like the idea of this is that like I'm not gonna just have guests that are really famous. Like it's not like I can have like everybody be at the same tier as Joey." But see, the cool thing about this is that, for example, you might have just literally made something that's just so concrete for somebody that wants to do a TikTok and they were like shy. Like you just gave them that piece of advice that could be true, or could not be true, and that's that TikTok will actually make that one video viral.
Yeah.
And that might open up the doors for some people to like go out there and get it and like do it. And a lot of people would just be scared. And see, the thing is, I feel like for me, it's always been like scary. Like if I told you that I've tried to do YouTube videos for like years, like I would not be lying. Like when I was a kid, like but even before high school, I wanted to start making YouTube videos, and I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about, and it would have been like the most classic YouTube titles, as in like, oh, like 10 things I like about girls, or 10 things that guys like, and this and that. And I thought it was like hella cool. But then again, like think of it. I'm talking about me wanting to make videos maybe like 8 years ago. So maybe 8 years ago, like that was the thing. And if I did that, it would have not been like so cliche or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just so difficult. Like I remember making them, and it was difficult in like the editing sense and being consistent and having the ideas, and a little bit of like kind of having the support, because I like right now it's not like I have the best background ever. And right now I'm like filming a Skype call.
Yeah.
I'm filming myself in my phone, and it's not like I have a microphone, and it's not like this is an actual Spotify. Like this is going onto YouTube. So it's definitely 0 out of 10 of how it should actually be. Like this should be in Spotify. It should have a name. It should have a logo. It should have a good description. It should be posted on Thursdays or Saturday at night at the same time, Eastern time or whatever. I should promote it, like have a thumbnail that's always the same, and just episode 2 or episode 3, different title or whatever. And even though I don't have none of that, I almost did that on purpose, because I want people to think like, yo, like hopefully this gets to a point where like it's gonna be recognized in like a year or so, and maybe I'm gonna have like 1,000, 2,000 followers or whatever. And if they look back at these videos, I'm almost gonna feel like David Dobrik on his first videos. Like if you have you ever seen like the very first videos that David did? Okay, if you look at them, it's so cringy. Like the jokes are so slow, and the jokes are like so far apart. Like right now on David Dobrik's videos, like in a minute, you get to see 3 jokes. And like back in his first videos, a joke would be a minute.
Yeah.
Like it was just so much slower, and all of it was like the same people because he didn't know that many people before. So all of his first videos was the same crew over and over and over and over and over. And on this one's like he gets like guests like magicians and celebrities like Kylie Jenner and this and that.
Yeah.
But he started from somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I wanted to do with like this podcast, and like not starting with 100%. It's like watch how this grows.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same way, it's gonna like I'm not gonna have celebrities or like famous people or like people like Joy that have like this following, they're living off of it in every single episode. I'm gonna have people that are maybe just a bit on top of me or in the same tier as me, or maybe not even there, and they're just starting, but I like what they do. So in a way, you fit, and this girl fit in the modeling side, and for you as well. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Right now, you're working in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
Okay. And because you're working in the wedding industry, correct me if I'm wrong, you've done photo shoots where you've been dressed up as a bridesmaid, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you've definitely been on the photo shoot side of things, and you've modeled. Now, that may not be what you want to do, but you are on this artistic plane of things, and that's why what I was telling this other girl is like I want to have people that are kind of in the artistic plane of things, because I feel like when somebody says model, like the first thing that comes to mind is you can't model unless you go to a model agency.
Yeah.
Or like you can model unless you kind of look like the models that we already know. So you have to be fit, you have to do this, and you have to do that. And so, for example, this other girl, she's not, I think she's more into a different kind of modeling. Not plus size, but like bigger size.
Okay.
But she's slim. So she's healthy, thick. Like she looks good.
Yeah.
But anyways, like she's into this area that's uncommon, but it's a thing. And so, for example, you are in this area that's uncommon, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, like being a model in as a bridesmaid in this. Well, what is it? That I guess that's where my next question is. Like, where do you work? How do you got that job? And why? What's all about? You know?
Yeah, for sure. So the bridal photo shoots that I've done actually aren't really connected with being a bridal consultant. They actually happened before I got the job as a bridal consultant. So I was reached out by a wedding planner to do like a bridal styled photo shoot with them. So we were able to work with amazing photographers, and they got me all dressed up. They did my hair, they did my makeup, and it was all different vendors that just came together to work on everybody's individual profiles.
Yeah.
And yes, or sorry, portfolios. So so I did that. And then after I did that one, I got reached out to by another photographer, and Nathan and I did a second one. It was really, really fun. And then, it kind of got me thinking about the bridal industry and everything like that. So then when I came to Halifax, I called this beautiful bridal boutique, and I got a job working as a bridal consultant.
Okay. As a bridal consultant, what do you do?
So I help brides find their perfect wedding gown. So it's like I'm a little fairy godmother finding these girls their dresses.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's a normal day like with you at the bridal consultant industry job?
In the bridal boutique? Yeah. Sure. So we usually have it be all appointment based. So the brides will come in with their friends and family. And And we'll go around the store together and we'll go shopping for beautiful wedding dresses. And then they usually try on about like 5 to 7 dresses.
Okay.
And then we find them their special dress that they're going to wear on their big day.
Now, why would they go there and why would they not do it by themselves?
Why would they not do it by themselves? What do you mean?
So like finding their dress, like, isn't that something that they can do by themselves?
In what way? What do you mean?
As in, like, isn't there stores that like sell the dresses and stuff? I guess like what I'm trying to say is like, why are they going with you? You know?
Why are they going with me? Like, why do you need like a bridal consultant to help you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it can be a very big decision. Like a lot of these girls have thought about this moment for a long time in their life. And it can be kind of overwhelming and stressful to try to find a wedding dress. When they're all up on the rack too, they actually all look very similar. Like it's hard to find differences and everything in them. And they're also really hard to put on too. So you need someone to kind of help you into them and everything like that. I feel like brides really appreciate somebody else helping them, clipping them into the dresses and everything, and really appreciate other people's opinions when it's time to shop for their wedding dress. So I find that it's a really like special service, and it also adds to the experience of finding a wedding dress. Yeah.
I'm not here to compare, but I think like the best way I can like put it in words, I guess, like for example, somebody that does interior design. It's like you can have your room and you can fill it up with things, but it's not gonna look as good as somebody that does interior design and they're like, yo, dude, like you should get this table. And then they're like, yo, but like, where do you got that table? It's like, I got the connects. Don't worry about it. So it's kind of like you're just like, yo, you should get this dress. And they're like, where do you find this dress? Oh, I know all the dresses. Don't worry, I got you.
Exactly. So, I got them.
I see. I like that. Okay, so in that industry, you're not actually doing photo shoots. Like the photo shoots happen before of it.
Yeah, so those photo shoots that you saw, the ones that I posted on my Instagram, the professional ones actually happened before I became a bridal consultant back in August. Yeah, so that was kind of unrelated. It was just a wedding planner that reached out to me, and then I agreed to do the shoot with her. And it was super, super fun. It's definitely something that I want to do more of. And now that I'm working as a bridal consultant, I have the opportunity to be able to model these dresses for them.
Got it. Cool. Now, what I was going to say is, so that's one side of things, and it's a small side of things. But like, I'm going to make up this big switch into like, how come you have the following base on your Instagram, and how come you have all of these amazing pictures? Because I guess what I'm trying to portray in this podcast is the unsaid things or the things that we imagine. And for example, like I've made examples with other guys on my podcast with JMac. I said like, I remember when I was in grade 11, I was going into grade 12. I went into summer school and I saw this guy that was like dressed up like super nicely every single day in like streetwear from normal, a different outfit every single day. And clothes from normal are not cheap. And it was like the shoes were different every single day. Like it almost seemed like he was just wearing a different pair of shoes and only wearing them once every single day.
Wow.
And then I also realized that he was a photographer and he had like a very expensive lens and this and that. And on that episode, I end up realizing that my life was just a tad bit different. And I had a hard time like making the connects, thinking, well, the reason why he has the money to do all of that is because he's working. And I can't work because I was a student, right? So that was one thing. Second thing is, since I'm not working, then I don't have money to spend on things that I like. And when I actually graduated and I could start working, I was working, but my money was going towards my survival, like living, paying for my rent, my phone, and this and that, like transportation, food, and whatever it was, like just shenanigans, like going out for a drink or two.
Mhm.
And now I end up realizing, well, if they're living in their house because they're Canadians, if they don't have to pay for all of this, a job can very well give them the money to like buy everything that they wanted and that I wanted at that time and
Mhm.
I couldn't get. Now, that story came with JMac, and JMac was telling me how he most of his money he always like just saved it so that he can travel.
Yeah.
And so this is exactly why I'm like making the switch with you, because a lot of people would think like, and I'm just like putting words in other people's mouth,
Mhm.
but I think if I thought of it,
Mhm.
a lot of other people also thought of it.
Totally.
So when I was thinking, my conception of this guy, it was like, oh, like he must be like rich, like his fam. Like at this point, I didn't even know that he was working at Normal. So that's another key thing.
Yeah.
He was working there, but he got the discount from there.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's another thing. And also the the um, the dress code in the store had to be just stuff from the store.
Yeah.
So everything came to place once you like do a little bit of research and once you like see how everything came about. And I didn't I didn't realize this by me telling him. Like I just made the connections because I saw a picture of him like working there, and then I also wanted to work there, and then I realized like, oh, they get a discount, and oh, the dress code is like this because of other people that work there.
Mhm.
But what I'm trying to say here is, for example, if I just plain on look at your Instagram, I'm like, wow, she's got a lot of followers. She must be a model. She must travel and do photo shoots all over the place, like in Tokyo, in New Zealand. She must get everything paid for, like
I wish.
like all expenses included, and she must travel with a photographer, or like she's a travel blogger, and you see how like I can tell you from like you literally laughing, you
Mhm.
can tell that none of this is true, right?
Yeah, no.
So
No, not
I'm
really.
just I'm just gonna say some of it. Like some of it that I think is just how it actually went is you worked hard,
Mhm.
you spent or saved most of your money. I'm sorry. That's gonna be on my audio. I should have closed my window. Let me actually close my window. There you go. That's okay. This is the podcast with Jesus where abnormal things happen
Yeah,
because it's not
real.
100% yes well planned. So
Real
yeah, it's real.
conversation.
What I was gonna say, you save your money, and I'm guessing it wasn't like your mom was like, "Oh, you need to pay me like a huge rent because you're living here and now you're working."
Well, exactly. Like that was a huge reason why we were able to go on these trips was because both Nathan and I were living at home,
Yeah.
and we were both working full time and then some. So before our first trip, which was our biggest trip, it was Europe. So we spent 3 months traveling in Europe, which was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And before that, I worked at like kind of like an accounting firm, Monday to Friday, 9 to 4. And then I worked at a car dealership like after that from 4:30 to 9. So I was working
Okay.
all day from like 9 to 9. And then on weekends I was doing princess parties. So I was literally working every single day of the week for
Mm-hmm.
full hour days, just really working to be able to afford this trip. And then we were able to just quit our jobs and go to Europe for 3 months. And then after that, it was the same thing. We would work really hard for our next trip, save
Yeah.
up money, pick up as many jobs as we could, work 3 jobs, then quit them all and go and travel. And it was like the same kind of cycle over and over again. And it was the best. I really recommend it.
Now, was that after you graduated or
Yeah.
while you were studying?
Yeah, it was after we graduated.
What do you graduated on?
What did I graduate from?
Yeah.
Well, I went to Ottawa U University for
Yeah.
psychology. And I did that for a few years and realized that that was not for me. So
Yeah.
then I left Ottawa U and I took a few years off working. And that's when Nathan was finishing up his degree. So once Nathan finished up his degree, that's when we did our Europe trip. And then
Yeah.
when I came back, I went to Algonquin for aesthetics. And I really wanted to get into cosmetic sales.
Yeah.
So I took my degree, and then that's when I got my job working with Chantecaille as the brand manager for them through
Yeah.
Nordstrom.
Yeah.
So that was an awesome job, and I worked there. And then we did Australia and New Zealand and Tokyo after that.
Yeah. Well, that was when I was like giving you Starbucks every day, huh?
Yeah, that was the best.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
So happy.
This might be a little bit rude, but give us a timeline on your actual age. Like when did you graduate? How how
Yeah,
old were you when you went back to school? Because
yeah,
I find that very interesting because I know that we have an age difference, but I never see it. I always just picture you as like my friend that's like 23 years old and is turning 24
I know,
because
I'm 26 right now.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm I'm back in school.
Mm-hmm.
When I finish school, and maybe I get to be in a similar position where you are,
Mm-hmm.
then like how can I say it? I feel like you're 23 and you're positioned way better than me.
But I'm not. I'm 26.
But exactly that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So can you give us a little bit of a rundown how everything went, like age wise? Like how old were you when you graduated out of you when you went back to Algonquin, when you did your trip in Europe, and when you did your trip in Australia?
Yeah. So it's actually funny before that too. When I was 21 years old,
Yeah.
I wrote in a journal like my 5-year plan, like what I want to accomplish in 5 years.
Hmm.
And so far, every single thing has come true.
That's high.
Okay, wait, one second. I'm gonna quickly grab it just because Kat
We got a technical issue, guys.
did it.
Our guest has escaped. This has never happened before.
Where is it? I thought I had it right here. Oh yeah. I have it
But
right
we can.
here. Keep them entertained.
Okay, I was gonna say we can see that the distance princess has gone away, but there's the teapot from the what's the movie? The Beauty and the Beast. And what else do we have here? We got the toaster. We got the microwave. They're not from the Beauty and the Beast. The microwave would have been cool. I feel actually, guys. Correct me, or what do you guys think of this? What if there was a Beauty and the Beast actualized, like an apartment, where like the things that come to life is like a microwave, a toaster, and like all of that. I feel like that's just me rambling crazy thoughts, but that's okay. Um,
Look, I have Chip right here.
Look at Chip.
Okay, I can't find it, but I think I can memorize it. So 22 was when I went to Europe.
Yeah.
And then 23, I think that was when I went back to school, was 23. Yeah. And I did my aesthetics degree. It was a 1-year program.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did Thailand.
Yeah.
During that time too. So I think I was 23 for that as well. Or sorry, no, Thailand was when I was 24.
Mm-hmm.
And then 25 was when I did Australia, Hawaii, Bali, Tokyo.
Okay.
New Zealand. And then that's also when I went and auditioned for Disney World. And that was also on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was all like the years that I had that I wanted to do those things. And I did them all in those years. And my one for this year is to get engaged.
Nathan screaming on the back like,
yeah, it was
girl, girl, why are you pressuring me that much?
yeah.
I remember Joey sent you the TikTok of the girl that had like that little thing. It was like 300 and like 400 and 1,000 days of me waiting to get engaged.
Yeah, that's literally me right now.
That was hilarious.
That's so funny.
Well, I was gonna say it's okay. You gave us that list, and I think that's really amazing. Like when you made that list, did you just said like what was it like? Because you don't have it, but like I'm just thinking like did you wrote down age 22 I want to travel to Thailand. Like was it kind of like that?
Yeah, so it was a timeline where I just like wrote a line across the paper with a bunch of ticks, and each tick had like the different age, and then underneath that I wrote what I wanted to accomplish in those years.
Was it just traveling or other things?
It was mostly travel based. Yeah, for sure. Oh, also you're frozen here. Am I frozen as well?
No, you're not frozen.
I'm not frozen?
No, no.
Okay.
Okay. I hope that this is not gonna yes. I can tell that I'm telling you something and then like you're hearing it like 2-3 seconds after.
Yeah, right now it's a little bit glitchy.
Okay. We're gonna keep on going with this, guys. If it worst comes to worst.
Better.
That's
You're
better?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say worst comes to worst, we'll stop it and we'll restart again. But okay, things are better now. What I was gonna say is, should I try to do one myself right now? I feel like it'll be kind of cool to like see where that's gonna take me. Like writing down what's gonna happen in the next 5 years.
Totally.
So, do you have a new one yourself?
Yeah, I do. It's also in that same book, but I can't find that book right now. I feel like as soon as we hang up this call, I'm going to find it.
That's probably what's going to happen, not going to lie. So you use your line, and I'm going to like make this pretty later, but I'm just going to think. So right now we are on 2020, worst year ever so far.
I know, it's been a really bad year.
Hopefully this is for a good change. Like, let's just take away the good things out of it. Like, through the pandemic, I feel like the lungs from the earth are actually breathing because there's less activity from men. Like, you see the animals coming in, like, into roads, like where people are living. Yeah. But it just goes to show that we are living where they were living before. The activism with like Black Lives Matter, and huge. I mean, like this goes from a long way past, like before that, like just Aboriginal people, like that happening in Canada, in Mexico, for example. Like we still like as far as I know, and I'm just maybe speaking out of my ass, but like they are definitely not like treated as well as in Canada. Like, yeah. I don't know the facts, but I think from a certain percentage of being Aboriginal, like you get your college like studies covered up in Canada, right?
To be honest, I'm not too sure. It's something I need to educate myself more on.
Oh, yeah, I may be speaking on my ass, but I think that's something that actually does happen, and I thought that was like really cool. Definitely, I feel like Canada like holds a bigger regard to people that are Aboriginal. Mm-hmm. Like I know there's definitely it's not perfect, but it's not like in Mexico. Like in Mexico, it's just like way different. Like I feel like there's the same thing as in everywhere else, like systematic racism and just racism towards each other because maybe you're darker than another person because you have to work under the sun, and then there's like the racism, like, oh, you're too dark or this and that, and we're all Mexicans, which is really bad because dude, like, it's not even like we have people from other cities. Like, imagine when that actually becomes a thing and there's like black people and Asian guys and like people from all over the world in like Mexico. Like, I feel like right now people think that they're not racist.
Yeah.
And they might end up realizing that they are when like they're faced with that. And that's just unfortunate. Like, I may be speaking too harshly, but I just think that definitely it's something that it will kind of happen. Like, like it or not, we're not always just open to like things that are uncommon. For example, like when you go to a place and you see something different, you might get scared. And for example, I remember my experience from me joining a basketball team, and it was just like black guys like all over. I was not scared. I was not like intimidated.
No.
It was like, I guess because I've always been very open. Like I was raised under like there's no such thing as racism.
Yeah.
It was just like, whoa, this is different. Like, I was just like, this is just crazy. I'm the only one that's Mexican working, like, literally I can consider myself as another group of people.
Yeah.
Because I was not white or anything, and like most of the people in my high school, they're black. I was like, wow, I'm the only one that's just different playing in this, like, in this basketball game. And it was just crazy to me. But I can definitely see that, like, if you're raised under like the ideal of like, oh, don't hang out with them because they're too burnt. Like, literally, that's something that happens in Mexico. Like,
What?
oh, he's like too dark. And mostly that goes because like the people that build houses, they get burnt because they're under the sun.
Oh my God.
So that so it's kind of like they associate like being burnt or like being like darker skin as in like a bad thing. So there's just like racism between each other here, and that's just plain all bad. But what I was like getting at, like, I'm just like rambling too much, is the fact of like how in 2020 from all of this, definitely there's been a little bit of a change from like the pandemic. Like, I feel like people are understanding that, like, oh, there's like online businesses. Like, there's things that we can sell online, and there's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs that are going to take advantage of this. And there's also cleaner ways of doing things. Like in my grocery store, I guess like it was a huge thing, like saying, oh, we're going to stop giving plastic bags. And they took it as an advantage of like, oh, you know what? Nobody is coming, or when they're coming, like it's just a few people. We're gonna do that. We're gonna take away the plastic bags, and it's just gonna be normal bags, and they're not gonna be able to complain because it's not such a harsh change. And it happened when not a lot of people are coming. So in a way, that was a good, positive, green thing that happened. I know that a lot of people are suffering. I know that a lot of people don't have the advantage to say that, like, oh, positive things are happening, and I feel for them because I mean, I almost feel for myself because I wish I was in Canada, because you guys are following the rules of the social distancing way better than here.
Really?
And oh yeah, like so much better. And it's just kind of sad, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's like from all this, there's a little bit that we can take away, and hope that it's just gonna open our eyes into be more green, open our eyes into be more responsible, open our eyes into be less racist, and to be more like a one world thing. And we'll see what's gonna happen after this. Like, it's just been one thing after another, from like the fires in Australia to the pandemic to the riots. God knows what's next. It literally that's the meme.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the change now, and now everybody is I don't know, learning from everything that's happened, and it'll just get better.
Yeah, let's just hope so. So 2020,
2020.
2021. Where do I see? Well, actually, I have this goal because this is actually written in paper. Like I'm supposed to do an internship September to December in Windsor.
Yeah.
So let's just say 2020.
You want to be
I'm going to be in Canada, in Windsor specifically.
Yeah.
2021.
Are you still in that program?
I'm gonna be working in Canada.
Yeah. Where?
Look at you being so specific. I don't know. Like actually 2021, me saying that I want to work in Canada, I think it's just as good as a goal. Like I don't know where. Like
what would be like something that you'd want? That's still realistic.
See, it's more realistic for me to say Toronto, but if we're being really, really realistic, no, if we're being really, really realistic, it could be Windsor, because that's where I'm gonna be doing my internship, and that's maybe where I could get contacts and get a job there. So that's the most realistic one. The one that I want to happen, you're not gonna be happy with this. It's MTL. Like I for some reason Huh?
You loved Montreal when you went.
Yeah, for some reason I just like if I picture myself having a house, it's there.
Yeah.
And I barely know that place. Like I barely know it. But it's just the streets, it's just the vibe that I've always got from that place. It's just beautiful, it's green, it's artsy, it's the metros. Like you may think like what about the metros? If you go to the metros, it's almost like I feel like I'm in New York City. Like it's just full of people that are just so different and like they're so artistic, and it's just beautiful to me to see that. Like if I could, I would like just wake up and go to the metro, go wherever random, and then come back, and I'll find enjoyment, like joyness from actually like just stepping in, going to bumfuck nowhere, and then come back, and literally wasted my time making that one little trip. But at least I would have seen people. Like it's just so weird, but like, for me to say that. But I would have seen like the most randomest thing, and that's what I wanted to see. Like just see that, and I think that's just amazing. It's just like it goes to show how amazing people are and how different people are in itself. So I guess Windsor.
And then Montreal. Right down Montreal. That makes sense. If your internship is going to be done in Windsor by that year, right?
I could try to achieve Montreal, but it's going to be tough because I don't know French. So it's not very realistic. Like more realistic, that's why I said Toronto or even Vancouver. But Vancouver, it's really expensive. But if I get a job, I can make that happen. So I've never been in Vancouver. I'm gonna write down Vancouver, and this is why.
Okay.
Because that's where you have like the film industry. Well, also Toronto.
Yeah.
Toronto is more doable because I've been in Toronto and I know people from Toronto. Okay, I'm gonna take out Vancouver. I'm gonna put Toronto.
Okay. And then what would you want to be doing in Toronto? Like what would the job be that you would get?
In Toronto, definitely something in the film industry. That would be like my dream, film industry.
Yeah.
And then 20,
so you have connections.
Yeah. I mean, well, not really connections, but I know a guy who just well, he's been in Cannes in the festival. He produced or he helped produce. I'm not so sure actually. I want him to be in the podcast. He helped produce 2 films, and they're like artsy films, international films, and that's why he was in Cannes. And he also acts, so he's been in plays. I'm pretty sure, like even singing plays. and he was part of the cast in like the Deadly Class, and that was a show that it's showcasing in sci-fi, like in the States. It's basically a show that could be in Netflix, but it's in sci-fi. So yeah, that's a guy that definitely I could like get connections from. And if I get like my shit together and I know exactly what I want to apply, I could ask him like, do you know anybody that works there or something? And maybe something could happen. 2022. I want to do a not a sabbatical, but I feel like at this point, I hope that I'm like in such a position that like either like no, I'm not saying I'm gonna be like Joey, but I hope that maybe either like my podcast is doing good or a YouTube, or maybe I finish a book. Let's say I finish a book, because that's something I wanted to do. Finish a book.
Like finish writing a book?
Yeah. And from finishing writing that book, I hope that like maybe a new chapter could begin and I could be taken maybe not seriously, but just like as a writer. Like it would be really cool if I could make like a New York Times bestseller. And from that it'll be kind of cool for like I always picture myself like traveling maybe to like Japan and just live there for like half a year and write a novel out of that, like just from inspiration, not about myself but just something, write a story. So say
22?
6 months in Japan. I'm actually learning Japanese in Duolingo.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it hard?
It's actually really easy.
Oh.
Yeah, like everything is in symbols, but the app is really cool. Like I definitely would suggest that like you take notes, because like everything is just by memory. So you see the symbols and you hear the sounds, and it tells you once what it means, and then you just have to remember. But like it gets to a point where like, yo, I've seen so many symbols and I actually do remember what they mean.
Wow.
But there's times where like you may think, oh, I don't remember. And I feel like for that one, instead of like you losing, because like it's kind of like a game, and then if you lose all your lives, then you can't study anymore. So that's why you have to pay.
Okay.
You could be taking notes, and if you're taking notes, then definitely you're not gonna lose and you keep on learning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I should like restart it because I'm not that far. But definitely after like seeing like 20 symbols and knowing what they mean, I'm like, damn, like I remember exactly how to say them and what they mean. So I feel like that's just cool in itself.
Something right now in it?
Huh?
Can you say something?
No, actually I haven't used it in like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I think. So I need, but that's because I've been like, I also downloaded like an app for poker, and I just been playing poker for a long time, and I prefer watching poker and strategies and all that. Mm-hmm. And that's because like, you know, when like you download a game and the game is just like connecting dots and all of that, I came to a realization. I was like, yo, this is such a waste of time. Like, if I was playing poker, I'm actually learning a bit of mathematics and strategy in this. And if I download Duolingo, I'm actually learning a language. Mm-hmm. So I was like thinking, imagine how many hours girls or guys or moms play Candy Crush. And if they're on Duolingo, they'll probably be like talking 3 new languages in no time.
Yeah, it's actually true.
So yeah, I just started doing that. I realized that poker is a shit ton of luck too, because it's not like I win most of the time, but I defend myself. 2023. Man, this is kind of tough. I've been talking to this girl from the Netherlands. Like,
I remember telling me about her.
Yeah, like for a minute now. And not gonna like, I wanted to change my Duolingo to Dutch so I can understand like her language. And also I was looking into jobs in the Netherlands, and she was helping me to like look into jobs too. I feel like that's so far away, but I guess by 2023, my goal would be to like be able to do this Jim Carrey thing. I don't remember in which movie was it. It was one where like if he falls in love with this girl and they go to Arkansas, I think. And
Okay.
like what happens is that like they went to the airport and they're just like, let's just buy a ticket anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's too expensive, and just what's the next flight? And they're like, Arkansas. And they're like, well, fuck it, we're going to Arkansas, I guess. And they went there. There's nothing there. I think there's like, and I may be wrong on the city, but I just remember that they went there and there's a museum of clocks, and there's also there's like their football team and their head, like the hats they put on. It was like a big cheese, a cheddar cheese. Um,
So funny.
yeah,
What
I,
movie is this?
I haven't remember. I just remember that like the Jim Carrey falls in love with this girl, and is it Yes Man? No, no, it's not Yes Man. Or I think it's the movie where he has to say yes to everything.
Okay. Oh, okay. Is it called Yes Man?
No, Yes Man, I think it's like a very old movie
Yeah,
where
I remember that movie. I don't know.
I don't remember, but anyways, like I remember that scene, and that scene has been engraved in me for a long ass time. It's like I hope one day I could just do that, like just be content and happy. So I want to be able to say go to the Netherlands because of the heck of it. To
And get a girlfriend. Woohoo!
we'll see. Who knows? I mean, it's 1, 2, 3. It's 3 years apart. Like they should be 2021. They should be 2020. It shouldn't be 2023. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do one more year, and then let's wrap up this. It's almost getting to an hour. 2024. What's gonna happen? Maybe by then I'm gonna have a second book.
Yeah.
And maybe you know what, it would be really cool if I was actually like part of an actual movie, so like part on making a movie, and that would be wherever, like it could be from a Toronto company or something like that. 2024. And you know what? Like all of this is just crazy. Like all of these goals are, to me, they just seem insane. First off, because I did not study film school, but that's something that I always wanted to like be part of the industry. And I'm for some reason I think it's doable because I've seen people that have graduated from film school, and I have more videos than they do.
Okay.
And to a certain extent, I have I do think I have like better skills than some of them, you know, like not to be cocky or anything, but it's almost like they still have that title that says film school, and I don't.
Yeah.
And they also probably know a lot of things that I don't know, that are just professional in the film industry, like script writing and this and that, and I don't know. And for that I want to invest into the master class, so like I can like learn how to do script writing and all of that. And
Do they have like a condensed program so that you can do it faster?
yeah,
Okay.
there's like filmmakers, there's script writers, there's lots of like very famous people in the master class that teach about filming and the film industry. So that's like the thing that I see more doable for myself, to invest in that and like use it. The other thing is, if you can tell anything from all of this, is that I want to travel. Like I want to be able to be at a company that allows me to like travel everywhere. At some point, I wanted to be like one of the girls or the guys that says like, the exit is over here, and if you grab your bag, like please put it on into the one beside you, and then help yourself out. And then if there's a fire, just calm down. Maybe knock whoever is beside you because they're being too loud or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're probably gonna harm you, and you just want to stay safe. So like knock them out. And whenever like the plane lands in the water, even though there's a fire, I don't know, maybe the plane's gonna explode. Let's just leave it at that. This was gonna happen. You're gonna open the door and you're gonna grab the knocked out guy that you knocked out, and you're gonna put him safely in one of those seats that float. And yeah, you're gonna save that guy. And he might sue you because you knocked him out. But then at the end of the day, you know that if it wasn't because of you knocking him out, he might have just, I don't know. He might have just like ran out into the cabin where there's like the pilot. He would have been like, you know what, fuck you. I think I can do this better than you. And he might have knocked out the airplane guy, the pilot. And he might just like crash into a mountain, and then it would have been shit for everybody. So you can live with your conscience clean, thinking that it was a better option to knock out that guy. There's my timetable, and I just want to finish up this with you because I feel like we took this huge tangent a little bit into my side. And this is like, let's just take facts that are real. When you went to these places, you obviously had money saved. Yeah. Tell me the ages, because you told me the ages when you were traveling, but at what age did you graduate from Ottawa U?
Well, I didn't end up graduating from Ottawa U, but I did graduate from Algonquin.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. So at what age did you left Ottawa U?
I think 21.
21. And then how long were you working as a psychologist?
I was never working as a psychologist.
Oh, I thought you worked as a psychologist.
No, because I was.
You just figured out you didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. So I went to school for it because I actually wanted to be a high school guidance counselor.
Okay.
But it was just not a program for me at all. So I left that when I was about 21, and then I worked, and 22 was when I did Europe. Mm-hmm. 23 was when I did my aesthetics degree.
Okay.
4 was when I did Thailand.
Okay.
And 25 was when I did Australia and Tokyo and all that.
Okay. So I'm like 2 trips behind you.
And I'm in Halifax.
Yeah. That's crazy cool. Who takes these pictures?
Nathan.
Of course. Men's. That's something I've been saying for a long ass time is
husband.
You need somebody that has that eye, that keen eye.
That knows all my best angles.
Exactly. No, and also it's not just that. Like men's takes videos.
Yeah, he does it all. He's amazing.
Yeah, like one thing is to know how to take a picture. Another thing is to like say like I can imagine him being in Hollywood like action, and then you see like Sarah coming into the frame, and then you like she's like cut no yeah, I need you to come into the frame, twirl,
yeah,
and then afterwards just look, gaze around, and then look back and all of that. I feel like he puts that whole scene together. So men's knows
behind all of my Instagram.
So you guys know you gotta get yourself a men's that knows how to do that. And
an Instagram husband.
For the men's, you gotta get yourself girls that can do that.
Oh yeah.
What else was I gonna say? So we figured out that you're not an international model that gets everything paid for, and
no.
Yeah.
I had to work for all of my trips. But hopefully one day I'll get them all paid for, and people will invite me out to take pictures at their cool hotels and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the next 5 years for mine. What are your next 5 years?
Well, my first 5 years was very like travel oriented, and I wanted to get all these cool places knocked off my bucket list. The next one seems to be more like family oriented. Yeah, like family oriented and stuff like that. So it's more like get engaged, get married, buy a house, have my first baby. So it's very different now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. What about the dog?
What do you mean? What about the dog?
How old is little Sophie?
Little Sophie is 10 years old.
I don't want to talk about the devil coming into the picture, but what about the dog?
The dog will be there for the next 100 years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I'm sorry to break it down to you, Sarah, but I'm pretty sure she's going to go to heaven.
I don't know. I think that she'll be with me forever.
She will be forever in your heart and taking care of you from heaven.
Yeah. No.
Little Sophie will be at the
Everlasting.
She'll be at the farm, you know. She'll go to that farm where all the other animals go.
No.
And they'll just selling you postcards.
No.
Are you gonna get another little Sophie when that happens?
I have no idea. I have not thought that far ahead at all.
You thought 5 years ahead. You know exactly that you're getting a house, that you're getting a baby, that you're getting married, that you're getting engaged, and you haven't thought about your next dog.
Definitely would be under 10 pounds and hypoallergenic. Know that for sure.
How come?
Because I don't know. I just love how tiny Sophie is and how she's hypoallergenic. So there's no hair anywhere on the floor, which is so nice. Like,
oh, that's what you meant by that. Okay, I did not know what that meant.
Okay, yeah. She doesn't shed at all. So she's really, really like clean and easy to take care of. So I love that. And she's just so tiny and cute. And
that's cool. Okay, I just want to apologize. It's not like I have that was very dark humor talking about Sophie and all that. I hope Sophie lives forever. And I've met her personally, if you guys do not know. And I love her very deeply. And that's why I was not mad when she was like squeaking her toy, even though she's definitely like against this podcast and she wants this podcast to not do well. But you guys can tell, actually, she has not posted that much in her Instagram. So I don't know if I end up unfollowing her because I felt like she was not posting, but I definitely was one of the first followers, just so you guys know.
You were.
And
I think she hasn't posted in months, like in 6 months.
Yeah, I know. She's been lacking.
She has been. We need to step up her Insta game. So
I guess I already just want to like wrap this up. If there was a sponsor, because I've been doing this for the last 3 podcasts that I filmed, I have not posted one that I did yesterday. And the reason why it's because it's so hard to have guests in here. Like if they bail or if they can make it or this or whatever, then it's hard for me to be consistent and put everything at the same time. So I'm going to start filming podcasts of just me by myself talking about a theme. The theme that I talked about yesterday was about relationship tips because somebody asked me to talk about that. And I changed it into, and this is sneak peek, I changed it into relationship tips of how to cock block yourself or how to be single. Because how am I going to talk about relationship advices when I've been single for 3 years? So like, yeah, I can definitely give you advices on how to be single for sure. How to cock block yourself, just do exactly what I do.
Oh my gosh.
So I thought that was funny. But the reason why I'm saying this, it's on the episodes, I'm sponsoring or saying that the episode is sponsored by somebody, even though it's not sponsored. Who do you want to sponsor today? Which brand do you like just lately, or that you think, oh, it would be really cool if like this podcast was sponsored by these people?
Reese Cup.
What is that?
Peanut butter Reese Cups.
So Reese's Pieces? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, this episode is sponsored by Reese's Pieces because they're the best peanut butter cups, chocolate thingies that you can buy from. How much are they?
I think like $2.
Okay, so like, and there's 2 pieces, so it's like $1 each if you want to like share them with somebody.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, Reese's Cups. I hope you guys can collaborate with us at some point. I don't know how you can find them on Instagram, probably Reese's Cups, but yeah, look them up. What I was gonna say, just to finish this, is at some point I do want to have you, like, it would be really cool if, for example, we talked about relationship advices, Because man, you're literally married already.
Maybe.
or just like, well, actually no, you can't talk about relationship advices. You've been with the same men.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea about the dating scene. Like how I used to flirt and date was just very, very embarrassing.
I feel like that's okay. Everybody's embarrassing.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing is to just be bold and go for it. Like
there you go.
To work at a video store, so I used to make my mom drive me to the video store so that I could go and flirt with him.
There you go, guys. That's how you do it. You just gotta be creepy as hell and like and get your mom to be your accomplice into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope that that's probably the next episode. Actually, I would like to have, because we've done it on Joey's podcast, that like it's the three of us. Mm-hmm. So that'll be something that I would really like to happen. I'm gonna have a single with Joey, and I might have to change the topic. Tell me if you like this topic right now. I'll change it, and the one that's gonna be the three of us, it's gonna be this topic. I wanted to do this topic with Joey, and it's the talking about how we saw things as little kids. So just a quick explanation is like, when I was a little kid, all I ever wanted to be was Max from the Goofy movie. Like I just wanted to know how to skateboard. I wanted to like be so good that I would be on the X Games, and I just wanted, like, on the Powerline movie, like I just wanted to go to a first concert and by some weird reason get to know the actual guy and like be on the TV.
Yeah.
While your girl or the girl that you're flirting with, she sees you on TV. Like, it's just insane scenarios. But that wasn't it. Like, I also wanted to be the guy from Reese's and just be the guy that like had like his crew, and everybody at school knew that I had a crew. Yeah. And what else? Like, I just like feel like there's so many things that go unsaid. Like, what happened to Max when he graduated? Did he got a job? Yeah. What happened to Goofy when he met that librarian? Are they married now? And like, what problems do they face? Like, that's something I just want to talk about. And I just feel like it just goes without saying that, like, when we were kids, we wanted things in such a different way, because at least myself, I saw that as being, that's who I want to be when I'm in high school.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I wanted to have those baggy jeans. I wanted to have that red shirt. I wanted to go into university and feel that like Kappa Sigma and like this. Because you see, when he goes to college, he sees all of that. I wanted to be in that drama. I wanted that to happen.
Yeah. That's so funny. No, that would be so fun to do a podcast about that.
Do you think you have content or like topics that you can talk about and like things that you saw yourself? Like, remember Kim Possible?
Oh yeah.
Man, I remember that. I just like, how are you like a kid and like you're like doing spy shit? Like, I was just like, yo, that's what I want to do. Like, I wish I was that person. You know what I mean? And
I really wanted to be a Disney princess my whole life, but I actually made it happen and became one.
Yeah, that is true. You actually made it happen.
Yeah.
I never learned how. Well, I tried to learn how to skateboard. I'm okay. Like, I'm way better at the longboard, to like stay in the longboard. If I'm trying to stay,
there's a really cool skate park here. You and Nathan.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Nathan knows how to skateboard. Men's know how to do everything.
It's pretty awesome.
Anyways, holy shit, we're going for like an hour and a half, but this was like also a catch up between friends. So cut me some slack into this podcast. I'm very appreciative that you were here as a guest and that you were able to shine some light into the reality of your Instagram. Also the fact that like things are very doable if you work hard. All of that was your work. It wasn't something that was given to you. It wasn't like my conception or like the conception that some people would have taken from it and saying like, oh, she's a model, international model, probably everything gets paid for. And also, well, you're not a model. It's just like your personal travel blog life. And it just so happens to be beautiful because you have Men's, and Men's knows how to take pictures and videos.
Yeah.
And I just think it's beautiful. You have a very artsy eye. One of the biggest reasons why I have you on the podcast, you know how to edit your pictures. I feel like that's something that would have been cool if we talked about how you edit your pictures, your apps, and all of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, even though you have all of that, I mean, a lot of people would be like, why isn't she a travel blogger? Because she has her own life. And your own life right now, it's being in Halifax, working in the bridesmaid studio, picking and helping ladies, women, into getting their dresses done, have an amazing experience in the nice little city. Well, is it a city? I'm not sure, of Halifax.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Sarah. Well, how do you spell it? It's SARAH .ANNE. I'm not gonna spell that, but yeah, Fitzpatrick. And thanks for being here. Anything that you want to say?
Thank you so much. I hope everybody goes out and achieves all their dreams.
There you go, guys. Thanks for listening. This was the podcast with Jesus, Jesus podcast, the podcast, Jesus, who knows, working name title thing.
Yeah.
So bye now.